6 lucky numbers to win big and get rich on June 12, 2025. Buddhist teachings. Have you ever felt like success is always just out of reach no matter how hard you try? June 12, 2025 could be the turning point you've been waiting for. According to ancient Buddhist insight and the wisdom of numbers, 6 powerful energies are aligning, and they appear as 6 lucky numbers. These aren't just digits, they're spiritual signals, guiding those who are ready to listen. In Buddhism, we learn that the universe speaks in silence, in signs, in repetition, in intuition. And right now, with Mercury sharpening focus and Venus opening the heart, this moment is a rare chance to align with abundance, both material and spiritual. Stay with me until the end, and I'll reveal a 7th master number, a sacred code that magnifies your intentions and opens the door to true, mindful wealth. So take a deep breath, ground yourself, and if you're ready, like this video, subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom, and comment this mantra below. I open myself to receive true abundance. Let's begin. 1. Number 34, the silent transformer. Now let us pause and turn our attention to something quietly profounder. Number often missed in the noise of daily life, yet rich with quiet significance. 34. This is not just another lucky number thrown into the mix. It's more like a lantern on a dimly lit path, casting a soft glow that helps you see the truth already inside you. In Buddhism, we are taught that change is the only constant, and 34 carries the energy of this truth, not with a bang, but like the slow unfolding of a lotus flower at dawn. It doesn't scream for attention, yet it reshapes everything it touches. Like the silent growth of bamboo under the surface, 34 is steady, subtle, and deeply transformative. It nudges you to listen to the parts of yourself that have been waiting patiently for your attention, the dreams you shelved, the words you never said, the steps you were too cautious to take. It's the whisper of the universe saying, "You're not finished yet." And in that whisper lies an invitation to begin again. As Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Smile, breathe, and go slowly." This is the spirit of 34. You might notice it in the quietest Wazer receipt total, a room number, a moment on the clock, and when you do, know this: there are no accidents in the web of cause and effect. Every encounter has meaning if we are still enough to see it. Buddhism reminds us that clinging leads to suffering, and 34 is a subtle reminder that what we often cling to are our reasons not to grow, our doubts, our fears, our need for perfect timing. But growth doesn't wait for perfection. It begins when we step beyond our hesitation and into the present moment. So if you're standing on the edge of change, if something in your life is aching for renewal, whether it's a job, a relationship, or the way you see yourself, let this number be your sign to move forward with gentle courage. When you release control, when you stop needing to know the outcome, life begins to unfold in ways more beautiful than you could plan. The Dhammapada says, "With our thoughts, we make the world." So make yours with intention. Choose honesty, joy, and the quiet bravery to start again. Let go of the checklist life. Embrace the unexpected. Laugh more. Speak truth. Show up fully. And when you see 34, take a breath, smile, and remember, this is your time. X2. Number 37. The Awakening Code. Let's talk about a number that often goes unnoticed, but holds a deep and spiritual vibration. 37, also known as the Awakening Code. This number may appear simple, but within it lies a quiet invitation from the universe asking you to pause, to notice, and to awaken. Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions of life? Waking up, doing what's expected, smiling when necessary, checking the boxes, but deep inside, there's a strange emptiness, a whisper that says, "There must be more than this." That whisper isn't just in your mind, it's your inner self starting to stir, asking to be seen, heard, and honored. In Buddhist teachings, 37 is symbolic of a turning point, a sacred moment when illusion begins to dissolve and truth starts to shine through. It's a signal that your spirit is ready to grow, to stretch beyond the borders of comfort and into the unknown. Why do we so often cling to relationships, jobs, and habits that feel safe, even when they leave us feeling small? Because safety feels like control, but real peace, the kind that liberates you, comes from becoming your authentic self. And that's exactly what 37 calls you to do. It doesn't want you trapped in a life that feels like a cage. It wants you to notice what no longer fits and take one brave step toward what does. So let me ask you, where in your life are you hiding behind routine, shrinking to stay comfortable? Which part of your heart is asking, perhaps quietly, even painfully, to grow, to speak up, to be free? Don't ignore it. Don't wait for permission. Say it out loud, write it down, declare it to the universe. The number 37 isn't here to give you easy answers, it's here to give you a mirror. And that reflection might be the most important truth you've seen in a while. If something inside you is moving right now, that's not just a passing thought, that's your awakening in motion. And this moment could be the beginning of something extraordinary. As we move forward, the next number we explore will carry the energy of rebirth and powerful new beginnings, a reset that could unlock abundance, not just in wealth, but in wisdom and purpose. Stay open, stay with me, because your next breakthrough might be closer than you think. The lesson today is simple yet powerful. When life starts to feel too small for your spirit, that discomfort is sacred. It's your sign to rise. 3. Number 28. Steady roots, shared growth. At first glance, 28 may seem quiet, even ordinary, just another number you pass by. But if you pause and pay attention, you'll notice that it carries a calm strength, much like the gentle presence of someone who doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. Think about those moments in your life when you kept showing up day after day, without fanfare, working, healing, learning, growing, even when no one was watching. That's the true spirit of 28. It represents the steady effort, the patient watering of your dreams, like seeds waiting to bloom, not through sudden luck, but through quiet intention and belief in the unseen. Now let's look deeper. The number 2 speaks of relationships, unity, and emotional balance. It whispers a truth we often forget. We don't grow in isolation. Our strength is deeply intertwined with others through love, through collaboration, through compassion. In Buddhism, this is known as interdependence, a reminder that everything is connected and that your own path is made smoother by those who walk beside you. The 8, in contrast, is a number that radiates abundance and karmic reward. It holds the energy of success that flows not from greed, but from generosity, from doing good without expecting praise. So what does it mean when 2 and 8 come together as 28? It's a messenger cosmic sign telling you that the energy you've been putting into your life, your relationships, your healing, is ready to return to you, magnified and blessed. And yet, there's another layer of wisdom here. The number 28 reminds us that solitude is not the same as strength. While reflection is important, so is community. The Sangha, or spiritual community, is one of the 3 jewels in Buddhism for a reason. It's within the presence of others that we begin to understand ourselves more fully. So I ask you, who is walking with you on your journey? Who lifts you up when you fall? Who do you support without needing anything in return? Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "We are here to awaken from the illusion of our separateness." This teaching is at the heart of 28. You are not meant to walk alone, and the energy of this number encourages you to reach out, to reconnect, to offer your hand and accept one in return. As we approach June 12th, take this as a sacred opportunity not just to wish for success, but to open yourself to shared success. Ask yourself, who can I build with? Who am I avoiding, and why? Where can I give more, not out of obligation, but out of genuine care? Because when you begin to see success as something we create together, not just something we chase alone, your energy shifts. If you've made it this far, you're already aligning yourself with the energy of abundance and luck for June 12th, 2025. Comment below with lucky path to affirm your readiness to welcome wealth and fortune into your life. Don't click away just yet. There's more wisdom ahead that could unlock your winning numbers and transform your destiny. Stay until the end and embrace the teachings that may lead you to great prosperity. 4. Number 10. The completion threshold. Let's take a moment to reflect on a number that may appear ordinary but holds profound spiritual meaning. Number 10. In everyday life, 10 is often seen as just a nice round number, a clean finish line in a race, or a simple checkpoint in progress. But in Buddhist thought and mindful living, 10 represents completion with a purpose. It signals not just an end, but the sacred doorway into a new beginning. It's a moment where effort and intention meet readiness, a quiet yet powerful pause before the next chapter unfolds. As June 12th, 2025 draws near, this energy of 10 becomes more present not just as a lucky number, but as a mirror reflecting your inner growth and quiet resilience. Perhaps you've spent the past weeks, months, or even years working in silence, showing up when no one noticed, holding faith when results didn't show, and nurturing your dreams in the shadows of uncertainty. Buddhist wisdom tells us, as rain falls equally on the just and the unjust, do not burden your heart with judgments, but let your awareness guide you forward. The number 10 whispers this same message. Your time has not been wasted, and your energy was never unseen. All of it, every small sacrifice, every inner battle has prepared you for something greater. 10 appears not to dazzle, but to center. It asks for awareness rather than action, and offers grace instead of urgency. Just like the seasons turn and the moon completes its cycle, 10 is the moment when winter ends and spring begins not abruptly, but with quiet assurance. Now is the time to look at your dreams again, especially the ones you put on hold because life asked too much of you. Maybe it's a financial goal, a career shift, or a lifestyle change. Whatever it is, the energy around you is ripe for that next step. Trust that what you feel stirring within you is not rando, it's the response to your past perseverance. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, the seed of suffering in you may be strong, but don't wait until you have no more suffering before allowing yourself to be happy. In other words, don't wait for perfection. Allow yourself to move forward now, while holding all your experiences gently, like lessons wrapped in time. The number 10 invites you to pause, not to stop, but to gather strength to see that you are no longer who you were, and that the life ahead of you is not built on luck alone, but on the quiet wisdom you've gained. Step with awareness, choose with clarity, and walk forward, not with haste, but with harmony. 5. Number 18. The peaceful reset. Let's talk about the number 18, not with the flash of fireworks, but with the calm voice of wisdom that echoes in stillness. 18 may seem simple, but in Buddhist teachings, it carries the energy of a peaceful reset. It doesn't crash into your life demanding change. It quietly invites you to pause, to reflect, and to gently let go of what's been silently holding you back. Have you ever felt like you're putting in effort, but staying stuck in the same place? Like trying to run in a dream where your legs won't move fast enough? That invisible weight isn't always about circumstances. It's often the energetic clutter we haven't had the courage to clear. In Buddhism, we don't force transformation. We allow it through awareness and gentle release. Think of the number 18 like the soft sound of a temple bell at dawn. It awakens you not with noise, but with clarity. Now, picture your life as a room filled with old memories, habits, fears, and dusty beliefs you've outgrown. If we never open the windows, how can new air or light enter? 18 is that open window. It doesn't promise wealth in lottery. Number sit offers the deeper wealth of spiritual freedom, reminding you to clear space in your heart, your thoughts, your life. This coming June 12th, the energy is ripe for renewal. The universe isn't asking you to struggle harder, it's asking you to surrender smarter. When you let go of what's outdated, old money fears, past mistakes, identities that no longer serve you, make space for unexpected blessings, maybe a new idea, a fresh opportunity, or a person who shifts your path. It's like the old Zen story of the overflowing teacup. A student came to a master, eager to learn. As the master poured tea, the cup overflowed, yet the master kept pouring. The student cried out, "It's full." The master replied, "Exactly. Like this cup, you are full of your own ideas and preconceptions. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" This is the essence of 18. It invites you to empty your cup, to release the need to control, and to trust the space you're creating. Let me ask you this. What have you been holding on to that no longer serves you? And what might happen if you finally released it? 18 doesn't bring luck in the traditional sense. It brings alignment, which is far more powerful. Because true abundance isn't about having more, it's about being free to live with clarity, peace, and inner strength. 6. Number 3. The creative alignment. Let's take a moment together, you and step away from the rush of daily life, from the endless stream of tasks and noise, and just listen. Sometimes the universe doesn't shout. It hums softly, like a gentle breeze that reminds you to return to yourself. The number 3 carries that kind of energy. It's not just lucky in a material sense, it's spiritually rich, symbolizing the deep harmony between mind, body, and spirit. In Buddhist wisdom, this triad is a reflection of the eightfold path's heart: right thought, right speech, and right action. These aren't lofty ideals meant to be admired from afar. They're practical guides to living with awareness and integrity. Think about it. What happens when your thoughts are rooted in kindness, your words uplift rather than harm, and your actions match your values? Your whole being moves in a rhythm that feels natural, peaceful, and powerful. And that's not chance, that's alignment. That's the foundation not only for inner peace but also for attracting the right people, situations, and yes, even prosperity into your life. As the Buddha once said, what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. So when we speak of number 3 being lucky on June 12th, 2025, we're not just pointing to a date, we're highlighting an energy window where the universe feels more receptive to your intentions, more responsive to your effort. It's a call to action, to create boldly, speak authentically, and live without shrinking yourself. Have you been silencing your truth? Have you delayed a dream because it felt too risky or out of reach? Ask yourself, what would it look like to finally trust your voice, not for applause, but for alignment? This is not about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you truly are and showing up for that person with full presence. And when you do that, luck isn't something you chase, it's something you embody. So breathe deeply, feel the presence of this moment, and know this is your time to rise. The path to fortune starts with awareness and intention. If you feel a shift in energy already, drop a "Fortune Awakens" in the comments. There's still more to uncover. Stay with us until the end, and let the wisdom of the teachings guide you toward wealth and well-being. 5 ways to cultivate a clear mind for financial wisdom. In today's world, money is often a source of stress, confusion, and even shame, but it doesn't have to be. What if, instead of chasing wealth with a restless mind, we learn to approach it with clarity, calm, and intention? True financial wisdom isn't just about numbers or strategies. It begins in the mind and heart. A clear mind makes clearer choices. And when our thoughts are guided by mindfulness and compassion, even everyday decisions like when to spend, how to save, or whether to give become powerful acts of awareness. In this guide, we'll explore 5 simple yet profound ways to cultivate a clear mind, helping you build a more peaceful and balanced relationship with money. Because financial well-being isn't just about having more, it's about needing less, spending wisely, and living in harmony with what truly matters. Number 1. Pause before you spend. Before reaching for your wallet or clicking "Buy Now," it's worth taking a mindful pause-here moment that can shift the entire trajectory of your financial well-being. So often, our purchases are not about the object itself, but about the emotion behind it. The desire to feel comfort, approval, success, or even escape. But when we learn to pause, to breathe before spending, we begin to see more clearly. In that pause, ask yourself honestly, do I truly need this? Or am I trying to fill a deeper emptiness with something temporary? Will this purchase bring real, lasting benefit, or will it fade into the background like so many other forgotten things? And more importantly, am I spending from a place of inner contentment, or is this an attempt to soothe a restless craving? The Buddha once said, "It is craving that leads to suffering," and the wisdom of that statement becomes all the more clear when we look at the financial stress so many people face today, often not because of lack, but because of unconscious spending driven by unresolved desires. The practice of pausing gives us space to choose wisely rather than react impulsively. It's a simple act, yet it transforms our relationship with money. Just a breath between wanting and acting can allow clarity to arise, and with clarity comes freedom. In today's fast-paced, consumer-driven world, where advertisements are tailored to target our vulnerabilities, cultivating the habit of pausing is more powerful than it seems. It's not about denying ourselves pleasure or becoming overly frugal. It's about building a kind of inner resilience that helps us discern what truly matters. A Zen saying reminds us, "The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance, the wise grows it under his feet." In financial terms, this means learning to find joy in what we already have, rather than chasing fulfillment through endless acquisitions. When we spend without pausing, we often pay not just with money, but with regret, stress, and even disconnection from our deeper values. But when we pause, we create the space to ask, is this aligned with the kind of life I want to live? Am I being true to myself? This small act of mindfulness can lead to greater financial stability, a clearer mind, and a heart more at peace. There is also a ripple effect. As we become more mindful in our own spending, we begin to model this wisdom for others, especially our children, family, and community. We shift from being consumers to conscious stewards of our resources. This is not just personal wisdom, it is social harmony. Financial wisdom, at its heart, is not just about saving or budgeting, but about living with intention. Lao Tzu beautifully said, "He who knows he has enough is rich." So let each pause be a way to honor the richness already present in your life. The world will always try to convince you that you are lacking, but when you pause before you spend, you tap into a stillness where the truth becomes clear. Contentment is not found in the next purchase, but in the peace of a mind that knows enough. Number 2, practice mindful breathing. Before we make any financial decision, whether it's a big investment, a spontaneous purchase, or even just deciding how to budget for the week, there's something so simple yet incredibly powerful, that we often overlook: our breath. Mindful breathing might sound like just a relaxation trick, but in truth, it's a doorway into clarity, self-awareness, and wiser choices. When you pause to take just a few deep, conscious breaths, you're not just calming your nerves, you're giving yourself a moment to return to yourself. How often do we rush into spending or reacting with emotions like stress, fear, or excitement leading the way? That moment of pause can be what saves us from a costly mistake or helps us make a decision that aligns better with our long-term values. Ask yourself, what happens when I stop for a moment and really breathe before acting? It may seem small, but it can lower emotional reactivity, those knee-jerk impulses that often take over when we're not fully grounded. And when we're not reacting out of habit or emotion, we can actually see the situation more clearly. Breathing creates space between you and the moment. It helps you respond with intention instead of just reacting automatically. That space is where wisdom grows. Now, let's try something together. Breathe in deeply through your nose and say to yourself, breathing in, I calm my body. Then breathe out slowly and gently, thinking, breathing out, I clear my mind. Let that rhythm become your anchor. This isn't about escaping reality or avoiding decisions. It's about returning to the present moment where real clarity lives. So, the next time you're about to make a purchase or you're feeling overwhelmed by financial pressure, come back to your breath. This small act can be a powerful compass, because clarity doesn't come when the mind is racing, it comes when the mind is still. When you train yourself to pause like this, you're also training yourself to recognize when your mind is clouded by fear, desire, or insecurity. And once you're aware, you're free to choose differently. Isn't that freedom worth practicing for? In today's fast-paced, consumption-driven world, we're constantly encouraged to make quick decisions, chase the next trend, or compare our lives to others. But wisdom doesn't arise in the rush, it shows up in the quiet. A clear mind leads to clear decisions, and clear decisions are the foundation of financial well-being. You don't need to be a meditation expert or spiritual guru to practice this. You only need to be willing to pause and breathe. This practice is available to anyone, anytime, anywhere. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. So, what would happen if every time you opened your wallet, you opened your awareness first? Here's today's takeaway. Practicing mindful breathing isn't just about relaxation. It's a tool to help you create space between your impulses and your actions. That space is where wisdom lives. When you breathe with awareness, you gain the power to choose not out of habit or pressure, but out of clarity and peace. In the journey of financial wisdom, your breath can be your first and most faithful guide. Keep returning to it, especially when things feel uncertain. One breath, one pause, one clear moment at a time. That's how we build a mindful relationship with money and with life itself. Number 3. Reflect on your intentions. Let's pause for a moment and really ask ourselves, why do we pursue money? What's truly driving us? Is it anxiety about the future, the fear of not having enough? Is it a need for status, the desire to prove something to others or even to ourselves? Or is it a deeper wish to live peacefully, to take care of ourselves and those we love, and to contribute meaningfully to the world around us? This kind of honest self-reflection is powerful. It opens the door to clarity. When you understand your intentions, when you really know what's behind your financial decisions, you start to align your actions with your values. In Buddhism, this is closely tied to the practice of right intention, which is part of the Noble Eightfold Path. The Buddha taught that all that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. So when our minds are scattered or driven by fear or ego, our financial choices reflect that inner chaos. But when our minds are clear, centered in compassion, generosity, and wisdom, our financial path becomes steady and wholesome. Think about how many times have you made a decision with money that later didn't feel right. Maybe it was spending impulsively, taking on debt to impress others, or chasing after more income without knowing why. Without clear intentions, we end up on autopilot, letting emotions and social pressure steer the wheel. But when you regularly stop and reflect, why am I doing this? You reclaim your inner authority. You begin to make choices from a place of peace, not pressure. The great Zen teacher Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "When you plant lettuce, if it does not grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. You look for reasons it is not doing well." In the same way, if your financial life isn't flourishing, don't rush to judge yourself. Instead, gently examine your inner environment. Are your intentions rooted in fear or in wisdom? Are they feeding your well-being or draining it? Now, I want to invite you to ask yourself, what do I truly value in life? Is it security, freedom, the ability to give and help others? Once you get clear on this, you can begin to shape your financial goals around those deeper values, not just surface-level wants. This clarity becomes your compass, guiding you through the noise of consumer culture, social comparison, and even internal doubt. And it doesn't require you to have all the answers right now. It simply asks for awareness. Clarity of intention is like cleaning a foggy mirror. Once the smudges are wiped away, you can see yourself and your path more clearly. And here's a gentle reminder. Cultivating pure intention isn't a one-time act. It's a daily practice. Just like we brush our teeth every day, we need to brush the mind clean of confusion, greed, and fear. Through mindfulness and honest inquiry, we strengthen the part of ourselves that sees clearly, acts wisely, and chooses kindness. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to pause and look within. So I'll leave you with this question. What small step can you take today to align your financial actions with your truest intentions? Let that question live in your heart and watch how, over time, it changes your relationship with money and, even more importantly, with yourself. You're not just watching, you're transforming. If financial wisdom through mindfulness speaks to you, type "peaceful prosperity" in the comments. Keep watching, there's more insight ahead that could shift the way you think about money and life. Number 4. Simplify your lifestyle. Simplifying your lifestyle is not about denying yourself joy or living with bare minimums. Rather, it's a conscious return to clarity where your outer world reflects your inner peace. In today's world, it's easy to be swept away by endless choices, impulsive purchases, and the pressure to keep up with others, all of which can cloud the mind and shake our financial foundations. But when we pause and simplify, we begin to see more clearly what we truly need versus what we chase out of habit or social conditioning. Choosing quality over quantity doesn't only apply to things, it also applies to time, relationships, and commitments. Instead of owning many cheap items that break or lose meaning quickly, we begin to invest in fewer, more meaningful possessions that endure. This naturally reduces the clutter in our homes and hearts, creating space for gratitude and focus. As the Buddha said, contentment is the greatest wealth. This ancient truth still applies. When we simplify, we begin to feel richer, not poorer. Moreover, simplifying means stepping back from debt-driven consumption that weighs down our well-being. Carrying financial burdens often leads to mental unrest, sleepless nights, and strained relationships. By reducing unnecessary expenses and avoiding debt that brings more anxiety than value, we create space for peace of mind and sustainable living. Just as the Dhammapada teaches, a disciplined mind brings happiness, we find that budgeting and mindful spending are not limitations, but expressions of self-respect and emotional maturity. In this spirit, practicing moderation, a core principle in Buddhist thought, becomes a form of liberation. It's not about saying no to life's joys, but about saying yes to what genuinely matters. This balance cultivates a life of freedom and stability, where we are no longer reacting to the world's noise, but responding with intention. Today, many of us are caught in a cycle of overworking to afford things we believe will make us happy, only to discover that they often leave us emptier. Simplifying helps us exit that loop. When we reduce distractions and financial chaos, our mind becomes clearer, our decisions wiser. We can then direct our energy to what nourishes the soul: time with loved ones, creative pursuits, meaningful work, or spiritual growth. As Lao Tzu beautifully reminded us, he who knows he has enough is rich. This doesn't mean we stop striving, it means we strive with awareness, knowing that our worth is not tied to how much we own, but how well we live. In this age of constant advertising and social comparison, choosing simplicity is an act of courage. It takes mindfulness to step away from the current and live in alignment with your deeper values. So, consider your lifestyle not with judgment, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, what brings peace to my heart and clarity to my mind? What can I let go of that no longer serves me? Every time you make a choice to live with less but live more fully, you're not just cultivating financial wisdom, you're practicing a deeper form of compassion, both for yourself and the world. In doing so, you become a light in a society often lost in excess, showing that the path to true abundance begins with simplicity. Number 5. Give generously within your means. Let's talk about something that doesn't just affect your wallet, but also your mind and heart: the power of giving. You've probably heard the advice to give generously, but how often do we stop and think about what that really means, especially when it comes to building financial wisdom? In Buddhist teachings, generosity isn't just about being kind or charitable. It's a tool for transforming the way we relate to money and to the world around us. When we give, whether it's money, time, or support, we loosen the tight grip of attachment. You see, it's not just about the act itself, but the inner shift that happens when you give. Greed, fear of lack, and constant craving all cloud the mind, making it harder to think clearly about financial choices. But when we practice generosity within our means, something opens our heart, our perspective, and yes, even our mind. It's like unclogging a pipe. The flow of well-being and clarity begins again. Think for a moment. Is there someone in your life who could use a little help right now? Maybe it's not money they need. Maybe it's your time, your attention, or a skill you have. That's the beauty of giving. It doesn't always have to come from your wallet. If you're low on cash but high on compassion, offer your time. Share your knowledge. Support a local cause that reflects your values. When we give in a way that is thoughtful and sustainable, we're not draining ourselves, we're feeding our inner clarity. As the Buddha once said, "If you knew what I know about the power of giving, you would not let a single meal pass without sharing it." That's not just a poetic line, it's a deep truth. Generosity frees the mind from the constant me first thinking that often fuels poor financial decisions. When you're trapped in that mindset, you're more likely to hoard, to spend impulsively, or to make choices based on fear. But a generous mind is a calm mind, a clear mind. And a clear mind sees not just what's urgent, but what's truly important. Now ask yourself, what does giving look like in your life? Does it feel like a burden, or does it come from a place of joy? Are you waiting until you have enough to start giving, or are you finding small ways to share now? These questions matter because they reflect your relationship with abundance. When you believe that there's enough time, enough love, enough resources, your choices begin to reflect that belief. And slowly, financial wisdom starts to take root. You stop chasing, and you start choosing. You stop fearing loss, and you start trusting in flow. This is not just spiritual talk, it's a real mindset shift that has practical results in how you manage money, how you set goals, and how you live each day. So if you want to develop a clearer mind and make wiser financial decisions, practice giving not recklessly, not to impress others, but from a sincere place of balance. Start where you are, with what you have. Generosity isn't about how much you give, it's about how freely you give it. And that freedom, that's the beginning of real wealth, the kind that doesn't just sit in a bank account, but lives in your daily experience. The key takeaway here is simple yet profound. Giving within your means helps you detach from craving, opens your heart to compassion, and sharpens your mind for wiser choices. Start small, stay consistent, and let your generosity become your quiet guide toward peace, clarity, and financial well-being. So as we welcome the energy of June 12th, 2025, remember this: the numbers may offer guidance, but the true transformation comes from within when we align our thoughts, actions, and intentions with clarity and compassion. If today's message spoke to you, take a moment to reflect, to breathe, and to invite mindful abundance into your life, not through force, but through presence and trust. And if you'd like to continue walking this journey of wisdom together, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming teachings and energy updates. Thank you for being here. May you be well, may you be peaceful, and may your path be guided by insight. Until next time, keep walking gently and wisely.